And showtime.
Showtime. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Engineering Edition. This is me, Wes Kamran from Conrad Labs, and I have with me my co host, Anton Churyn from Delivery Hero, all the way from Germany. What's up,
Hello,
Anton?
everyone. All good, man.
How's
How
the
you
weather?
doing?
Oh,
Weather is
I'm good.
better.
I'm
Is
good.
better. Much better than the last week, man. How it's for you?
Cool. Oh, yeah, it's good. We're finally heading into spring, so it's kind of nice. I like it.
Nice.
The
Nice.
windy, everything. All right. So the second episode. Uh so the topic that we have today is kind of interesting and it's definitely gonna help a lot of folks out there. If you're a seasoned engineer, if you're a fresh graduate, so let's jump into it. What do you say, Anto?
Yeah, I think this is, how do you say it, for the job search in general, it's tough right now because on the a lot of things, especially for the economic and company trying to establish the engineers the position and see what is best work for them or not for them, and also trying
Yeah.
to just position the people and keep it in the right places, right positions. It's interesting
I guess
journey.
that would be the biggest concern.
Yeah,
Like the topic, the reason we chose this topic is because a lot of folks within our own network and people around us. So we all know 2022, 2023 had been tough years economically. There had been massive layoffs within the big tech companies, Google, Amazon. I think it's everywhere, and obviously in such time everyone wants global opportunities. Everybody wants to sort of experiment a bit with global opportunities. And obviously, that's a journey itself. And when we talk about the journey, we talk about how can we approach global opportunities or how can we future proof ourselves or how can we protect the jobs that we have. So, what do you think about the whole landscape that has transpired in these few years, specifically in terms of the job market?
I think at the moment we have too much engineers or the people who want to jump in IT ecosystem. Let's call it like this. And here at the moment it's a lot of challenging because we are not. It doesn't work in how it used to work, right? And at the moment, the
Yeah.
old people mostly appreciate the people who they know, especially from the network, from conferences, just friends or friends of friends.
Everybody wants to keep it safe.
Yeah, keep it safe and have some credit built in when someone will join the company.
That's fair. I mean, from a, for example, if you're a senior manager working somewhere, obviously in times like these when you have the pressure to deliver, you would want the team of your choice. You would want people of your choice, people you're comfortable with.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, any valuable insights regarding uh, how to seek for global opportunities, or specifically any job within the tech sector, uh, as a data engineer, as a software engineer?
I think the most valuable insight, it's the hardest one, is find what you enjoy the most, what you can do for free, what you can do forever, extra hours, anything, what you enjoy the most. And with this insight, you can explore your strengths and see on the market what actually the company looking for, especially for the behavior, for the technical skills, for some, I don't know, just other prerequisites, which important from company to company. It could be the different. And just the main thing, try to build the connection with anyone in a company. It's not HR, just with some
Yeah.
engineers, managers to see how it works, what is the culture, just to go this extra mile to explore how it potentially might look like from the different lens from the people inside and try to match with your personal values and beliefs and how it feels for you just to be part of this journey.
That's a good advice because in times like these, obviously there are companies and organizations out there who are focused in terms of sort of keeping their business intact, and then we have a pool of candidates who have another sort of expectations. It's like, hey, I'm a fresh grad, or I have like 4 or 5 years of experience, and I'm looking for such and such things within my upcoming jobs. They just might not align because everybody's is in like a firefighting mode recently. So obviously there has to be some sort of a compromise at the job seekers end. Just like Anton said that, before looking for a company, before looking for a job, it's very important to see that, uh, what kind of business they are dealing with, and, what kind of sustenance they can offer, and talk to people, within the company. Don't just rely on the human resources themselves. Great.
In-
Let's talk about the very first step, obviously, which is also a very cliche topic. Normally, whenever we talk about global opportunities or opportunities in general, we talk about crafting your resume. So, any tips regarding that area?
My tips is just to avoid the bias, and this is the main tip. And I really like how do US approach it and all these US based companies where you don't need to put your profile photo. And just a general tip, when you're making the resume, you should define what is your responsibilities. And when the people describing the jobs, right, just or positions or whatever or projects, please not highlight what you just should do. Just try your highlights, how you help the company, how you help the team member, the coaching, mentoring, what makes the difference from you with the other candidates. This is what everyone looking for. They're not looking for the people who just doing a job well, because more or less everyone doing the job well in some with some deviation. But what does make you outstanding or just different from them? For example, you made XYZ help team. Amazing. You made this difference. Please highlight it.
Exactly. It's like if you are a graduate, it really doesn't matter because so are other 1,000 candidates. If you have a good CGPA, congratulations, so are other 2,000 people applying for this job post. So, what really matters is how you stand out. And the very first impression of standing out is through your resume, obviously.
The
Uh,
really, yeah, go ahead. Okay, it's just for the first impression, I think it's really interesting what actually you can do extra, right? Because everyone can open YouTube, search for some project, be just make it copy paste or just build something pretty similar, but try to go just a bit further and jump, I don't know, open source project or anything, or request the issue or support someone, just to show everyone just you are a team player. You want to help, you're willing to help, and you are thinking a lot about the product overall, not just to make the product done or finished or meet some deadlines. What you care in the future with some kind of the product mindset. What is the companies at the moment really value?
that's true. And, different certifications can add upon it. It's more about, I would agree, it's not just about building a product, it's also about sustaining a product and adding quality within that product. So it also boils down to what kind of expertise you have to offer when it comes to maintaining that kind of a quality. Uh, so yeah. And one more tip might be in terms of, a lot of companies out there, which a lot of people, in terms of applications, they don't realize this is that your application can be screened manually, and some companies do use particular softwares for that. Uh,
That's true.
so it's kind of crucial that you also go ahead and choose proper keywords. Once you're done drafting your resume, make sure, for example, which is which post or which keyword can get you more hits, or what are people searching for? Are they searching for AI engineers or slash machine learning engineers or data scientists? Which keyword would fit best for your application? So do put like a bit of an effort into rephrasing things around or adding keywords, which can help you within the screening process. Any quick comment on that, Anton?
I think it just totally agree with you, and don't put it too much. Just only my comment on this, because I saw a lot of resumes where you have just AI, data science, just LLMs, MLP, and just a lot of things. Just on an early stage, try to be honest with yourself and with the people who will just interview you, and with the organization. What you, how to say it, what is the your knowledge base, and where you position yourself right now, right? If it's
So
free
my
for,
take,
it's fine.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
Okay. So I was just gonna add upon it. Like when I see a few resumes, I see like very similar patterns. I'm a tech enthusiast. I'm a passionate software engineer. You would see that on every resume. So one good tip that I can offer is like, stop putting those keywords like that. If you're a tech enthusiast, your resume should speak it out. You should have some sort of work to back out that kind of a claim, because all the resumes we get, all the resumes have this headline: a tech enthusiast and a passionate software engineer. Great, but you know, you can just sort of tweak it around, because that's like, it seems like you sometimes you feel like, am I seeing the same resume again, because the headlines are so familiar. So yeah, that might help. All right, let's
Absolutely.
talk about uh, sort of the most undermined topic when it comes to finding jobs globally and seeking opportunities globally, is the networking strategies that people can or cannot adopt. Now, with my experience, I've so whenever I do these seminars or webinars, I meet a lot of fresh graduates, and I get a time to talk to them about their journeys and how they're approaching the job market these days. So a lot of people aren't very excited about or aren't very well equipped to use LinkedIn as a platform, or uh, so they really undermine the power of networking. So let's talk a little bit about it. So does it really matter to network, or does it really matter to do podcasts like these, or writing newsletters, or just being there on LinkedIn, really helping to build a community, or to sort of communicate with people within their posts, within their comments, highlighting stuff around a particular community? Do you think that this sort of matters, or can this help you in any form or way?
It's valid point. As we discussed in a previous one, what make you, what's it? What kind of difference you are making, right? And not a lot of people writing the newsletters, not a lot of people making the podcast, and this is where you can just stand out, because this is the visibility, and not just
True.
some private visibility in a company on some group. It's more or less a global visibility, right? It doesn't mean
Yeah,
a lot
agree.
of HRs will start just follow you and subscribe for the newsletter, but you have some audience, right? You have your leader
Yeah.
and the people following you, and you already made this extra to, how to say, just to squeeze this step how to connect with the people, because for you it's much easier to, hey man, I'm writing the podcast, I'm really interested in your just xyz post, youtube video, anything, just I have some ideas or I want to discuss with you just with your experience, not experience, because we are not putting everything on the plate, and we are keeping a lot of knowledge behind the scene. And it's really easy
Sure.
for the people who already make the first step some time ago, just do make one more, right? And then one more. And actually, if you have some network, you can by fifth of, I don't know, just some hands forward, find someone in any company, right? This is how the world works. Everyone know everyone.
True. The power of marketing and the power of branding yourself and the power of networking can really help you within the whole process. So when people say, now, a most common question for everybody would be like, I'm more like an introvert. I don't like to engage much. And obviously, it's a thin line. You would see a lot of people sort of going an extra mile, in a very negative direction while using LinkedIn. But there are some people who are using it effectively. But I think a collective take from this part of point of view from both of us would be to sort of use LinkedIn in a way where you can create the visibility for multiple, human resources, recruiters, headhunters, and the best medium is to sort of keep on engaging within your community and sort of not in a way where you're pushing it, not in a way where you're actually just doing stuff for the sake of doing it. No, but in an actual way, in an honest way, where you can really uplift people around you, whether they're the fresh graduates or whether they're the ones who are already working within the industry. So and these relationships, they eventually help you in a longer run. So so Anton, what's your take on engaging within tech communities and events? How can they help you, or how can somebody who's just coming out of the college use these kind of platforms to build their networks?
If you're, how to say it, if you're a starter and you just graduated from college or this is your beginning of the journey, try to find the people where you love the content and you really appreciate what they're doing, and you can just copy the patterns, not copy what they did, they copy the patterns, and try to follow command, ask for the questions, maybe some just DM, whatever. Just try to stay with these people as close as possible to see what they motivate them. And in some point of time, if you will do it consistently, the people can bring you up by mentorship, coaching, advices, knowledge, anything, or even if recommendation if needed, because they know you are some sort of the fun, and you are providing some kind of the questions or comments or anything, just you are adding value for them for free, and the people
True.
really
I would like
love
to.
it.
I would like. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I would like to code one of my favorite LinkedIn accounts, or the people. Sorry, I love to follow. So the at the foremost, I love following Adi Usmani from Google.
Yeah, it's true.
He's always got some really interesting posts, and it's regarding leadership. It's regarding educating yourself. It's regarding growing as a software engineer, and there's a lot of motivation stuff as well around. I think he can do great as a motivation speaker as well. Do you have any favorite account or
I
a
have a lot.
profile you'd like to follow
I have a lot.
besides besides me, if there's
Besides
any?
you and Ideas Money, I have just a lot of people, pretty engaging. I love the style. I love sometimes the simplicity where the people just sharing some takeaway of the day or takeaway of the, I don't know, of the mood or anything,
Yeah,
where you can just jump into your past and see, okay, yeah, I had the same feeling. Let's just comment or just make some engagement together just to see how it just resonates to each other. Because we all
True.
humans, we have feelings, and sometimes you cannot imagine just you can comment on the one person, and after some time you can become a best friends.
True. True to that. True to that. All right. Let's talk about finally. You, uh, you have crafted your resume in the best way possible. You're working hard in terms of building a network around you or a community around you. You're sort of attending all these events where you can sort of build contacts with software engineers, HR professionals, headhunters, recruiters, whatnot. Now comes the tough part. Now you finally have the opportunity to sort of uh, interview for a position in an XYZ company. And now comes the big mountain of technical interviews. Let's talk a bit about that. You know, technical interviews, lead coding. How can one be more proficient? How can one be excel in problem solving or coding skills? I know this is again one of the most cliche topic. You'll find tremendous
Absolutely.
help on LinkedIn around it. Everybody's been talking about it since, especially you'll find even more posts after 2023 and all these layoffs and stuff. Uh, but what is that one thing that has helped you in securing multiple opportunities? What is that like a few tips that you could just, everybody has like that golden slate which you can show off at the end. So what's yours?
I have some kind of the top of the things to keep in mind in every interview. It's technical or not technical. Just
Mhm.
be enthusiastic for sure. Because how to say it, no one wants to work with the person who just, okay, this is the opportunity. I will try to just pass the interviews and see how it
With
goes.
the
No,
dead face.
yeah,
With the dead
exactly. Just
face.
we need just some
Yeah.
engagement. Yeah, just it's
Yeah.
opportunity for the company to meet you, learn from you,
Yeah, a
and
bit
other
of
way
energy,
around.
just a bit of smile. It's not like I'm here because
Exactly.
I have to be here. I'm here because
Exactly.
you know
Exactly.
because I have
Uh,
3 more interviews lined up, but I'm here.
yes.
So you got to thank me
So
for that.
take my time. Yeah.
So just a bit, and being genuine within an interview, that really matters as well. It's more about you're there representing yourself, and I know technical interviewers can be a bit intimidating. A lot of it, a lot intimidating. A bit is like an undermining that whole situation. But yeah,
Yeah. That's true. True.
so
Okay. Next one.
how
Right.
next one. How important is lead code? Like, should you lead code? Should you lead code only when you're fresh? Should you lead code when you are experienced? Should you lead code when you're at a managerial position? Because there are some companies who actually interview. The very first interview is always about lead code. Something around it.
Yeah, that's fair question. Just I think it depends on the company. Every company is different, but I would bet the lead code is not requisite, right? Just use lead code as an educational platform where you can learn the algorithms, data structures, how to deal with it, and learn some
Yeah,
basic stuff regarding these different languages. Just to be more comfortable is great. But I will rather prefer to focus on the technical interview, not so much on the coding, rather than the problem solving, right? Because the engineering itself, it's solving problem with the different tools, with different arsenal we have. And this it depends.
true.
And coming back to the managerial position, I think it's good if the managers have some idea or technical background before to understand and value more the work of your engineers, and better for it for the if you get this understanding, you know some pitfalls and you can stay aligned in terms of maybe jargon or technical terms and understand people easier and better and waste less time for collaboration overall.
I think one point in which I might differ is, normally whenever someone has a technical interview, and yes, that's true. Different companies have different ways of interviewing. Some would just, send you home with an assignment, and they would really dig deep on it technically in terms of your solution. Some companies would start with, the very first round, which is like a lead code round, where they can ask you like one easy question, one medium question. What
Into hard
what
questions.
I've learned, yeah, or the hard question and you're screwed. But normally, what I see is that lead code really helps you gain that confidence. It really helps you position yourself into a very safe position where you can confidently, uh, give away these technical rounds, especially the first two rounds. Uh, because once you're practicing, and I would say that, if you keep on practicing, like I would say, it doesn't hurt to sort of solve one or two questions from lead code in a week, or in a month, if you can plan yourself to do something like two or three questions, two medium questions, two easy questions. uh it's a good refresher for even seniors, people of our experience, and even for the juniors. And I think it just positions you into a safe place. At least you have something going on before jumping into that interview. Alongside with that, what I do recommend to every level of software engineer is to really upskill yourself in terms of system design. I think, as you said yourself, that uh, the problem solving is the biggest aspect of what we do. So problem solving in terms of using these tools can really help. What do you think? Good advice, bad advice?
Amazing advice. Amazing advice. Yeah, that's true. That's true. No objections here.
So,
And we can move forward with the next one.
uh,
Next one, I think general interview, any interview is a skill, right? And you
yeah,
should just
obviously.
be absolutely patient and be ready to fail, because most of the time you will fail, but take it as an opportunity, because every interview is a stress. It's step up out of your comfort zone and just to
Yeah.
practice it. Just to practice it to gain this level of confidence, and then try to apply to your amazing company, amazing position, and try out your best.
I always call it as a reality check. If you feel like you're good enough, if you feel like, hey, I just deployed my application using, on Kubernetes, and where it's a multi-node setup, and I am like the best out there. It's good to have like one interview which would really humble you, and which would also give you certain perspective that, hey, there's always something to learn. So it's good to always, be interview ready. And when I say interview ready, it's just, it, obviously it is the system design, it is the lead code, and it's also about, staying resilient, which is yet another cliche term. But I would ask Anton to sort of break it up for you guys, because Anton is like the most resilient guy I've ever met. So how do you do it?
How do
How
you do
can
it?
you how can
Actually,
how
uh,
can you sit in an interview with a straight face?
with a straight face, I think you should practice the both things. You can try to go to the mock interview and see from the one perspective how it feels under the pressure. And most of the people who start in the journey with the interview, they really underappreciate how much stressful it's for interviewer. And try to interview
Yeah,
someone, how to say it, as the same
we're
level or
human beings
level
too.
or exactly. And for us, it's more harder than for you, because we need to be super engaging, just keep the conversation line, and it's about the conversation, right? And keep
True.
this tone and be just complement each other and stay on the same line. It's really important, and it require the work from the both sides. And just if
True.
you will polish this art of just to keep this tone for entire interview, it will be just it feels like the 5 minutes. It's just a good talk with the good person. You just discussing something, the design, not design, anything. It's just a pleasure. But in worst case scenario, you will be so stressful. Your how do you say it? Your fear to ask any question, your fear to fail. Just it's not something fear to fail, right? You already have some background, some knowledge. Just use it. In worst
True.
case, you will how to say in the best case, you will learn something new.
Right. So in general, like how if somebody has like multiple interviews lined up, how do they stay motivated, or how do they manage the stress? Uh,
Just I'm using the one technique called just plugged off. Try to after every interview just to go away, talk with the friends, family, just not using the some devices for playing games or searching LinkedIn or prepare for the next one, just to make a refresh time. Just you need to recharge your battery, because even a 1 hour interview, it's pretty costly for your body, and you need just recharge it with some other emotions, some other feelings from anyone else.
that's something we neglect the most. But yeah,
Exactly.
that's true. The kind of stress you can undertake within just one interview, whether you're being accepted or rejected, it's still you go through a lot of mental breakdown. So it's good to sort of keep yourself refreshed through, just walk up to your family and just talk to them, or your friends or anything. Don't
Yep.
think too much about it. What happens is eventually going to happen. So rejections are part of life. I think we both can say that we've been rejected multiple times in multiple interviews before we sort of cashed up our best opportunities. So everybody goes through it. Even if you talk to people from Google, people from Amazon and Meta, they would tell you stories about how they actually spend months, more than like 4 or 5 months within the interview process. And, being, keeping your health as a first priority. That's good advice.
Yep.
And since we're talking about rejections, like, I know a lot of people, sometimes they're desperate, and rejections can really take over their mental health. So, how do you sort of propose to approach such rejections, or especially the ones that we're facing today? Layoffs, and people are being laid off, people and the same people are being rejected around multiple opportunities. So, what should be their thought process?
The thought process, I just said I'm using pretty straightforward strategy. It shouldn't be about you, right? Because it shouldn't be the personal, because we have at least two sides or
Mhm.
multiple people. It's the
Yeah.
between company and you, or team and you, or whatever and you. And it's about the match, right? If it's a good match, the people will try to find the opportunity. If it's not good match, it means you can find something better. And what
Yeah.
I say, take it is not the opposite, but every failure no, comes with the some reason, right? Maybe you already did, just you have done something and you are ready for the next step, or maybe you're don't know, you forget make a reflection, but you are doing some a bit side job. I saw a lot where the people working as a front end engineers and they slowly move into the back end, and they are how to say struggling. Oh, just I want to keep the front end position, but it not required, and they super struggling to jump in the back end because they enjoy it the most. And to take this time, reflect yourself, just what I enjoy, right? What I want to do, which company, which size. I ready for that? Not ready. what is the pitfalls. Maybe you want to try something, share knowledge, anything. Just keep it engaging, and it's not about you. It's about the match.
Yeah, keeping the bigger picture in mind, obviously, that would help. I know desperation follows with layoffs. Desperation can follow if you're really looking for a job. Uh, it obviously plays a role. There, there are no words that can soothe, this part of the experience. Uh, but within the tech industry, the one thing that really helps you keep going is, in fact, making sure to highlight your shortcomings. And I believe that's where Anton is saying, it's not about you. If it is about you philosophically, so you can take a word for it, work on stuff, and yes, it can take time, 1 month, 2 months, really sort of upskill yourself, work on your shortcomings, skill up in these uncertain times of when AI is looming around, and try to learn a bit more about it, experiment with it, and do what you do best. And I can say this with conviction that uh, eventually, if you're spend like at least 2 months in helping yourself grow, uh, the opportunities will follow. So yeah. All right.
Well,
So
well said.
let's wrap. Oh yeah, I should put it on my LinkedIn banner. That really
Absolutely.
gave me
As a
that
quote.
gave me goose that gave me
Yeah.
goosebumps. Wow, I'm good. So let's conclude. Let's gather some points from Anton. I have a few points to sort of conclude this conversation. So, speaking of the job search journey, how would you say? Do you want to share any points that have really helped you grow, or chase and really crack those interviews and gain that opportunity? Like one line, if you have to say anything or to pinpoint something, what would that be?
I'll try to use just a few sentences. It's be yourself first.
Man of a few
And the,
words.
and the second one is learn the rules and play with these rules. Because not we are setting the borders and not we applying the new rules. We should follow them.
Deep. That's deep. Um, all right. So how can you sort of so normally it comes with staying persistent, adaptable, and proactive, within your approaches. Obviously, if you have faced rejection, you cannot just sit on the couch. Really have to. Uh,
Reflect.
I think I normally if I recall a few of my previous interviews, I think they have all came with great learning elements. I always deal my interviews with, you know, as a session that can always come up with something that I can take back home in terms of learnings, in terms of polishing my skills, in terms of uh, learning to stay confident and working under pressure. So it has always given me something. So I don't say, or I don't discourage people to not give interviews around. I would say, even if you think you're doing great, it's okay to sort of go into the mock interviews. There are so many sites actually providing you that service, so it's kind of great. Or even if you can volunteer to take those mock interviews, that's gonna help you as well. So yeah, uh any concluding words, Anton?
Stay positive, stay engaging, and never, how to say it, never regret for the failures. Because the failures built us, not we building the failures.
That was something
So deep.
like so deep, bro, so deep. uh that's great, that's great. And yeah, the biggest tip is about don't overthink it, be yourself. uh there's a lot of opportunities There will always be opportunities for people who are willing to excel and willing to improve themselves. So what people really miss sometimes is like in the whole desperation, they really forget to connect with the company's philosophy. So there are companies who are looking for people like you, uh, but you might not just be a good fit. And in order to find that fit for yourself, you might have to go an extra mile. And when I say going an extra mile is what recruiters are looking for. Yes, they are looking for good grades. They're looking for a good engineer, but they're also looking for a key player within a team, and how you stand out within your network, how you stand out within your community, how you stand out within your resume. That's like the very first step. So just look around you. Everybody can be a graduate. Everybody can be, an A plus software engineer. But what else do you bring to the table? That's the question that a lot of recruiters and headhunters want to be answered. So, just doing your job or just learning how to lead code might get you through the first round, but an interview can be, interview can comprise of multiple rounds where you have to go through behavioral rounds. So don't work on just one skill, work on all of them.
Amazing.
What do you think, Anon? Should we call it a day?
Oh man, I have nothing to add.
I think I've said it all.
Yeah,
Said it
exactly.
all.
Great summary.
Great summary. Good. With that, I guess we conclude this episode. And
Yep.
definitely, if you're watching and if you think that you found something beneficial today, stick around because we'll be coming out with the third episode next week, and we'll announce the topic. And yeah, I hope that helps as well. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you,
Ciao.
everyone, and ciao.
Great.